Everyone, and welcome to the introduction of statistics part 2. Today we're going to go through some sample questions with the material we learned on part 1, which is why it's important that you watch the first video because it would help with your understanding on this video. But on part 2 now, we're going to construct a frequency distribution table. And one question you can get on an exam, etc., can look like something like this. Let me see. So a sample of 30 customers were asked about their favorite type of music. Construct a frequency distribution table of this data. So imagine yourself going into a store and someone comes up to you and says, "Hello, Mr. or Mrs. We are doing an investigation on how on what kind of music genres people like." And you said, "Yeah, sure, I can join." And you're going to list different alternative like you can see here, and you're going to choose one of these. But as you see here, this is data they collected. It's 30 different options, and the first thing we need to think about is the how many different samples it is. And I constructed this table, and you can see that pretty easy. So we have country 1, hip hop 2, India rock 3, jazz 3, K-pop 5. So n is small n equal 5. Yeah, first thing we're going to consider. The second thing we have to consider is that how many chose what. So what we need to do then, because this is a mess, and if you would deliver this kind of data, it will be unsatisfactory. Which is the reason why you use a frequency distribution table to make it easier and show your understanding about statistics. So what we need to do is that we need to count how many it is. So we can start by countries: 1, 2, 3, and we have 4. Yeah, and then we can do like yes or something. So yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have let's say 1, 2, 3. So we have 4 countries. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 jazz. Yeah, pretty simple. And now we're going to put this in a table that looks like this. So here you can see we have 4 countries. Yeah, hip hop 8. Right. The number of samples is 5. 5 different options they can choose from. And the winner is hip hop, who had 8 for some reason. And as you can see here, this is frequencies known as frequency F here. Yeah, it's music variety, how many different music genres it is. Pretty simple, it's straightforward, I mean. And here as we learned in the previous video, sigma, sum of the frequencies right here. So sigma of F is equal 30. So it's 30 different possibilities. Yeah. Okay, next one. Now we're going to look at relative frequency and percentage distributions. So if a frequency value isn't compared to the frequency of other elements in data collection, it's useless. I wouldn't say it's useless, but yeah, it's pretty much it's hard to use it in statistics if you don't have other elements in the data. So relative frequencies is equal to frequencies of a class divided by sum of all frequencies, and this is the equation for it. And don't be scared. During the course of this, during my videos, there's going to come a lot of different equations that looks terrifying. But once you understood everything and the reason why they are like they are, it's pretty straightforward and easy. So all we're gonna do is take the frequencies divided by the sum of the frequency. Yeah. So we'll look here, determine the relative and percentage frequency for the data in the music example. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do, and we're going to use our formula that's not on the sheet for some reason. I'm going to try to type it. I'm not the best at typing. That's sigma. Let's write sigma here. Sigma. Yeah, sigma and F, frequency. Yeah, so I just borrow this one right here. That's that. Yeah, okay. I misspelled music. Sorry. Should say music here. I don't want to insult your intelligence, and I'm not gonna type it. This is how it's typed. Anyway, so country has 4, hip hop has 8, Indian rock has 5, jazz 7, K-pop 6. Yeah, 5 number of samples. Sigma of f is 30. So in order to get the relative frequency, we need to take the frequency divided by the sum of frequency, which is 30. So what I've done here is that I've taken 4 divided by 30, which will give me 0.133. Yeah? And I've done this for all of the 5 different alternatives. And when I've done this, I get a decimal here. And if you want to convert this to percentage, right here, you need to do simple mathematics and do 0.133 times 100, which will give you 13%. Yeah, straightforward. When it comes to mathematics and statistics and that kind of stuff, we don't write the multiplication sign. So if you are given a problem like this, just imagine there's a dot right here or an X, because we don't write it out. Yeah, so this one would be 0.266 times 100, which is 26%. So all of these numbers right here should be 1, and all of this percentage right here should be 100%. Yeah, if it's less than 100%, you did something wrong. If it's higher, you did something wrong. It should be 100%. And by just eyeballing this, I can see that this is not exactly 100%, but that is because I rounded it up. So for example, this one, 4 divided by 30, is actually 1.33337 or something. Yeah, but I only calculated the 0.133, which will make this like in 98 or something. I don't know, but it should be 100. Yeah, so if you use a calculator or Excel, it should be calculated as such. Okay, next question. So normally during exams and that kind of stuff, they would ask you to construct a graphical presentation of qualitative, we know what that is from the previous video, data with music sample with a bar graph. So what is a bar graph? It stands right here. Bar graph is composed of bars with different heights to reflect frequency of different categories. Yep, straightforward, super easy. Next one. So here is the bar chart. Yeah, so we can see that the country has 4 because it goes up to 4. Hip hop has 8, you know, and the winner is clearly 8. And you can see the one who has who is the highest is the winner. Yeah, so 8 here. Jazz has 7, 6. K-pop, yeah, you know, some of you might like K-pop. I prefer hip hop though. That's a smiley. Sorry, I don't know why I keep writing smileys. I guess I'm bored or something. But yeah, so that's 8. The winner is hip hop, and that's easily described in a bar chart. That's why it's used. So you can give the data you have. Imagine you had this one from the start. Yeah. So based on this information, instead of knowing which one is the highest and to calculate everything manually, if you're going to present a report of which music category which is most favorable from this sample that you conducted in your shop, it's easier to use a pie chart to show you. And then you're going to say something like, so under the investigation, we provided statistical evidence that shows that out of these 30 samples we gathered, the most preferable music category was, in this case, hip hop. And if you would do a more detailed investigation, you'll probably understand that a 30 samples is maybe not enough samples to make it to provide enough statistical evidence, because they might be other factors involved that is not considered. So, but more on that in later videos. Let's look at the next one. Construct a graphical. Oh, by the way, I forgot something. So if you want to construct a bar chart, you can do it by yourself, by hand, you know. Just make a box like this, you know, maybe put some like that, and let it full or something, you know. Put like this on everyone, you know. I'm not gonna type everyone, but you get the point, yeah. And if you want to do this by hand, you can, you know, it's pretty straightforward. Just list the categories here and how many they chose and whatever. And if you want to do the Excel, I'll show you how it's done as well. If you just give me a second right here. So what you need to do is that you will take country, hip hop, jazz, or maybe rock, for example. And 5 people chose these, 2 for this. And just take these ones, press insert, bar chart, and there you go. Now I have a bar chart, and you can remove these lines, you can adjust it to whatever you prefer. You can change put data here instead. You can add some coloring to whatever you prefer, like this one. You can do a lot of different stuff. So I would recommend that you go in and try to do this. And of course, we're going to change this to a chart or something. Yeah. And you just do whatever you prefer. But back to the questions. Yeah. So that's what I've done pretty much. It goes pretty quick. So it's a bar graph. This is not a chart. Yeah. Bar graph. Next one. Construct a graphical presentation of qualitative, we know what it is, data with music sample with a pie chart. So what is a pie chart? A pie chart is a circle divided into sections that show a relative or percentage frequencies of several categories. Yeah. So as you can see, here's our frequency table. And you can see that the color gives what the pie chart is. You know, hip hop right here, indie rock right here, and etc. Yeah. What I didn't put here because I wanted you to think that, oh wait, what? Where's the percentages? And you can also do that in Excel, but I chose not to, just to make sure that you understand. But if you were to do this by hand, you would probably much do this, you know, as it is, and then you just put percentage signs on it. So if you take country, for example, right here, we can see that it has 13%. So we will just write 13% right here. Well, it's 13.3% actually, right here, like this. Yeah. And if you would take hip hop, for example, you'll take 26.6% right here. And then you would say, according to my statistic investigation I made of a sample of 30 on what music they prefer or something like that, we can see that we can see on the pie chart that 26.6% was in favor of hip hop music. Yeah. And obviously these are in different sizes depending how much they weigh. Yeah. And that's it. And that's for it for part 2, but I highly recommend you to watch part 1 to be more familiar with what I mean. This is part 2. It's a little bit more detailed, you know, but if you don't get it, just go back and try it by yourself. And the more you try by yourself, the more you get it. Yeah. And the easier it gets. You know, I've done this x amount of times, and you know, it might be yeah.